US Fed raises interest rates again. The Flare network has partnered with Google. XDC is now available on SafePal, and Binance might be looking to buy some banks in the near future. Welcome to DHN. I'm your host, Wade Teamer. This video is a little bit later than usual, but had to do some dad things, guys. That's not going to stop me, though, from kicking out this crypto news. We're going to start with this interest rate decision. U.S. Fed raises interest rates by 75 basis points. This is the number that was projected. This puts us in the 3.75 to 4% range. Now, it's interesting because, and I'll admit to you, I'm not an economist. I said it on Twitter, but I do recognize that the world is changing. The Bank for International Settlements just stated couple weeks ago that it may be time for the Federal Reserve to slow the rate, slow the pace of these rate hikes. Otherwise, we might be in for some economic turmoil, some real economic turmoil. So this decision by the Fed, it's causing a bit of a reaction. The Fed meeting just ended a few minutes before I pressed record on this video, but I believe the markets are taking this as the Fed being defiant to the overall global economy. However, at the same time, with them continuing these rate hikes, it, in my opinion, increases the chances of it stopping in December or maybe even January of 2023. So as of right now, the markets, they sort of responded, but everything settled back down pretty quickly, guys. Bitcoin is still sitting at 20K. Things did spike for just a second, but it didn't really last. So that's very big news when it comes to the economy, guys. It's important to pay attention to that. So that's why we started there. But let's get into some crypto related news. We're talking the Flare network and Google. Very interesting partnership here, guys. Let's jump right into it. Flare network gives blockchain a boost with groundbreaking protocol running on the Google Cloud. Flare network has quite the interesting narrative to it. I have seen it in association with, of course, we know about the XRP airdrop coming up. And on top of that, there are solutions that are coming to Stellar Lumens and Litecoin as well, which they also talk about here in this blog post, which is posted on Google's website. So you know it's legit. The thing is, though, this Flare network token is supposed to bring about a change in the market. Okay, that's the narrative around it. That's the story around it. There are some who have been more into the Flare network than me per se, but I am aware that the Flare network is a crucial piece to the financial system. I have some videos that I am working, putting together for this month. Just as you can see, got the whole new setup. So it took me a couple of days to get acclimated to this, but quick details here. They're going to be using the Google Kubernetes engine, which another token uses that too. Clever, whole different subject. But this Kubernetes engine is what's going to allow Flare Network to make use of Google's vast amount of data. Okay. And it also allows Google developers to do the same for the Flare network. So it's an integration of a blockchain company and traditional finance and traditional tech company. That's another reason why this relationship is so interesting. The one thing that I like about this, though, when I was reading it, is that it states towards the end, it says, for end users, Google Cloud supports our mission, that's Flare Network, to offering bridging for tokens that lack smart contract capabilities, such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Stellar, and XRP. We will also be offering bridging for smart contract tokens, including Ethereum, USDC, and Tether. That is so interesting to me, guys, because it really highlights what Flare's position is going to be. The information that I have dictates to me that Flare Network is going to serve as the connector for XRP, XLM, as well as Algorand and XDC when it comes to that quantum financial system that's starting to circulate around the internet, okay? That it's going to be created amongst all the payment coins. The Flare network is going to bring in smart contracts, which will allow for the transactions to be programmable. Okay. It's so much more to it. I am, like I said, preparing content for the Diamond Hustle members because this Flare launch in connection with Google is part of their airdrop process, because I was doing a bit of reading, and the Flare token airdrop that we're all waiting for, that's part of the initial launch of the network itself. After the airdrop, then we're going to start seeing protocols, Flare apps hit the mainnet. So this is laying the foundation for that. And if they're building with Google before all of these things start, that's how you know. That's how you know. Now, when it comes to our Diamond Hustle content, there is another token on the Flare network. It's called Songbird. And you got to get your shovel and do some real digging to find this token. But, you know, your boy Wade, I did the hard work for you. I did the grunt work for you. So if you're not a member, click that join button on this video. Diamond Hustle members, know you got something good coming. Now, speaking of something good coming, let's talk about XDC on SafePal. All right. It's just shocking to me. I'm not going to say I'm shocked. I would say more so surprised that it was SafePal, because SafePal was a little bit quiet. I supported the brand and then it just kind of went silent. But I forgot that in this space, patience is important. SafePal has officially supported ZenFin XDC network. This has been in plans. I remember hearing about this for the first time since August, but there was no definitive date, which is all lending again to the silence that I was kind of bummed out about when it came to SafePal. But now everything has been changed. And what this will allow for us to do if we're XDC holders is now interact with the XDC network. This includes all of their dApps on their ecosystem. You can trade the token now. You can get involved with those Trata tokens, things like that. As a matter of fact, let's jump over to XDC's website and check out a few of these. Right away at the top, you can see domain names. That stood out to me right away. I was aware of these apps, but after SafePal made this announcement, I went and revisited a few, and they've updated quite a few of these as well and added some new additions. But I kind of forgot about the domain services on XDC. So if you want to get a domain name that's .xdc, like you see people do with ETH, you can now do that. Of course, you're going to need a SafePal in order to access it. And then you always have the option of using the native XDC wallet, of course. With SafePal, it's a lot easier. I find it to be a lot easier. You can see here, though, you can access Comtech Gold. That's how you get your tokenized gold on XDC. Chain Files. That is a software that allows you to digitize trade finance documents. So that's going to be used probably by larger corporations, larger companies. And if they're in the Binance ecosystem, now they have another gateway. Now they have another channel to make use of that. I also think that we can use this individually too, just for different documents. If not that one, there's another application on XDC that allows you to do it. But you also have your XDC NFT marketplace. You have the Impel, another NFT marketplace. Prime Numbers is a DAO that generates scholarships for students. So now more students can access that through the Binance Smart Chain. And then you also have to think about too, Binance does have a large reach with educational centers, universities all around the world. So it's very good to see. Very good to see. This bridging of XDC to the Binance network through SafePal is going to do wonders for both chains. So this is good to see. Very good to see. Speaking of Binance, let's talk about them looking to buy some banks, ladies and gentlemen. This is very interesting. Binance CEO CZ considering buying banks, according to a report from Bloomberg. It states that he is looking into potentially buying banks as a way of bridging the gap between the worlds of traditional finance and crypto. He did not name any specific targets and also said he's open to either minority investment or a full acquisition. In a quote, he stated, "There are people who hold certain types of local licenses, traditional banking, payment service providers, even banks. We're all looking at those things." So I have been saying for quite some time that Binance is looking to become the next generation bank, the next generation financial institution. If they get into acquiring physical banks, That means that those banks will then be supported by the Binance network. And they could buy a bank here in the United States. Surely would help their Binance USD distribution. I tell you that. Binance, guys, again, I don't want to be a shield, but I'm going to say it every time. It's performance. You can't dispute the performance. Now, let's land the plane a little bit, guys, because there is something else forming in the markets right now. I believe we're about to see the next era of DeFi. You want to know why? Stories like this. Bank for International Settlements will test DeFi implementation in Forex and CBDC markets. And first industry pilot for digital assets and decentralized finance goes live. So we have the Monetary Authority of Singapore exercising DeFi applications on a global level. At the same time, you have the Bank for International Settlements doing the same thing. This project has a specific name to it. I sent this out on Twitter earlier today as well, but Project Mariana. That must be deep. They look to explore blockchain technology when it comes to decentralized finance. In a quote, they state that Project Mariana explores using automated market makers for the cross-border exchange of hypothetical CHF, Euro, and Singaporean wholesale CBDCs. It's going to be a joint venture with French, Swiss, and Singapore central banks. My thing about this is the fact that if they are about to start experimenting with DeFi, payment coins caught a lot of attention when CBDCs were introduced into the discussion. Okay, as we got closer to ISO transition, Fed now instant payment service, that brought a lot of attention towards the quants, the Algorands, the XRPs, and the Stellar Lumens. When it comes to DeFi, though, I believe we're going to see that same reaction in DeFi heavy projects. So we're talking your Aves, especially Aave, because they do a lot of work in Brazil, and they're actually a part of this experiment through the Bank for International Settlements. So you have to look out for Aave. You have to look out for Binance has a pretty strong DeFi ecosystem. And of course, Ethereum, you can't forget about that. Some of the smaller coins, though, include crypto.com has a DeFi ecosystem. Algorand just kicked on their DeFi ecosystem. Hedera Hashgraph also just kicked on their DeFi ecosystem. So this is going to be a top-down effect. Bank for International Settlements, FIS, FSB, G20, those are the organizations that are dictating the direction of growth here. Okay, so yeah, you want to make a point to pay attention to these organizations. This is the beginning of the testing, but I bring this to your attention because it's a signal. All right, if you're holding some of these DeFi coins, or if we start to see developments in some of the coins that we're already holding anchored towards decentralized finance, then you know what's up. I do have another question, though. I do have another question because it's the pinned tweet on my profile. I am very proud of having this interview. Reggie Middleton, Venture of Decentralized Finance, he's still trying to get recognition for that. If the Bank for International Settlements and other global financial bodies are looking to get into DeFi, I can guarantee you they're going to do it properly, by the book, and according to all standards. So, very interested to see how this all turns out. Very interested. Let's get into our last two stories, guys. We got Singapore grants stablecoin issuer Circle in principal license to offer payment products. This also includes Paxos. So we were talking about global stablecoin regulations recently. We know they're coming down from the G20. To see this coming out of Singapore, who we just talked about, remember, Monetary Authority of Singapore working on DeFi experiments, they just granted two of the largest stablecoin issuers in the market clearance. You see how things come together, folks? You see how things come together. And then lastly, guys, another Binance story. I'm sorry, it's performance. Suggests that Binance Pay could be a solution for crypto payments on Twitter. He is basically saying that Twitter in a minute is going to be on the Binance Smart Chain. It's going to be on the BNB chain. He might even buy a few. He may get a ownership stake in Twitter once all of this is over. honestly. So with all that being said, though, that's all I got for you in this one. If you found value, of course, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Also, if you're interested in how Diamond Hustle members get access to exclusive crypto education, films, and other content, click the join button under this video to learn more. Don't forget about the DHN Crypto Journal for 2023. The link to that will always be in the description. With that, to all my digital hustlers worldwide, have a great day. Have a prosperous day. Most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see y'all in the next video.